In this video, I recreated all 24 tracks on the Formula 1 calendar this year, all on my browser. This is the 6th episode and the grand finale of this series. So if you want to see the first 21 tracks I've made so far, they're done in the first 5 episodes. This episode I made 3 tracks: the Las Vegas Grand Prix, the Qatar Grand Prix, and the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Also, I'll be linking all the tracks for you to play as well, of course, and I neatly organized them all on a document. One more thing, if you guys want to play against each other or against someone else's time on their leaderboard, you simply just click their name on their leaderboard tab like this, and you can see I'm playing against them right now. But without further ado, let's get straight into it. Alright, so starting off, we got the Las Vegas Grand Prix. This track has some really long straights, which means it will be easy to make on PolyTrack, and only one diagonal, but I can easily make that as well. Well, I'll go ahead and make this track and see when it's done. Alright, let's go ahead and test it. So starting off, we got a pretty short straight that leads straight into a U-turn, which is quite accurate. This is what happened on track. Okay, I messed that up. Let me restart. Alright, as I was saying, this is quite accurate compared to the actual track. This track was actually quite easy to make because a lot of it is just mainly straights. Leading here, we got a brake early there because there's a bit of a long straight. Okay, now we got a sharp turn right here, which I messed that up as well. Alright, hopefully I can get back on the track. So the physics in this game clearly are a bit wild, but that's fine, I'll just restart it. Okay, I'm back to where I was, and on that sharp turn there, you gotta be really careful because it leads in right from a mild turn. Okay, now we got a sort of S-shaped turn that leads into a sharp turn, and now we got the really long straight. So you can see on the bottom left, I hit almost 500 kilometers an hour. Since that turn there is really sharp, I had to brake really early for that. I was able to finish the track in 53 seconds, which is not too long, but that's because you go really fast in this track. Alright, moving on, we got the Qatar Grand Prix, and this one looks much harder because there's more diagonals, but I'll see what I can do. Alright, so let's go ahead and test the Qatar Grand Prix. So just from making this track, I could already tell that was gonna be a longer one because there's much more things in it, like more turns, longer straights and stuff. And there are just a bunch more track pieces, I guess you could call them, that I used. Well, I don't know that for sure though. We're gonna have to go ahead and test that to see it. Overall, this track is quite easy. There's not too many sharp turns in the beginning. However, there are a bunch of U-turns. But U-turns are fine as long as they're not too sharp and you're careful with them. So for example here, there's a U-turn, and because I didn't go too fast, I was able to do that quite smoothly. The rest of the track I can just cruise through. It's quite easy, honestly. Alright, so I'm done with the track now, and that took me 1 minute 16 seconds. This is definitely longer than all the tracks that I've made so far, except for the US Grand Prix. Both the Qatar Grand Prix and the US Grand Prix are around the same, with both of them being well over 1 minute 10 seconds. Moving on to the final track of this episode, and also the final track of this entire series, we got the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Now, for the final Grand Prix, the Dubai Grand Prix. This is the last test I'll ever be doing in this series, unless you guys want me to make tracks that are not on the current calendar, such as the Indian Grand Prix or the Portugal Grand Prix, for example. Well, anyways, let's go ahead and test it and see if the final track is the best track. Alright, starting off here, we got a small straight leading into 2 turns, and a bit of a chicane, which leads us into a U-turn. Okay, I messed that up. Okay, I was able to recover it quite well there. So this part of the track is quite easy. Now we got a long diagonal part, which I don't have a good experience with because they're always hard to get the braking right because it turns into 2 really sharp turns. Okay, now we got another one of those diagonal segments, but this time it led us into a U-turn and that was quite easy. Alright, so we got a bunch of sharp turns here. So in the time lapse, you might have noticed that that part wasn't there. But after I finished making the track, I realized that I forgot that part. So I quickly just added in. Okay, so I finished the track in 56 seconds, which is pretty decent. It's not too long, but it's also not too short. It's actually a unique track because there's no other track that fits in this category. Most of them are either 1 minute or they're closer to 50 seconds. Well, that's gonna be it for this video, or this series actually. It's been really fun making all these tracks and I quite enjoyed it. I've also been getting a good amount of support with many comments saying that they enjoyed these tracks, which is nice to hear. Like I said, if you guys want me to make more tracks that are not on the current calendar, but you still want to see me make them, then make sure to tell me in the comments which ones you want. Well, make sure to like, subscribe, and share. I really hope you enjoyed this series, and I'll see you in the next one.